Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever hour you're watching me right now. This topic we'll be discussing today is regarding the new UK asylum system, the new UK asylum or refugee system. Please, you need to watch this video to the very end because there's a lot of information I will be sharing on this video, and I'll also draw analysis so that we can see the current UK refugee crisis or system we are practicing today and how is this favoring us and how is favoring some communities and systematically excluding some communities. Please, I am not shooting this video for you to get offended or for you to be offended by it. I am sharing this video so that you can learn through it, so that you are able to plan yourself and you are also able to show your concern, share your concern. It's very interesting topic. I will need you to understand that. Recently, we saw what's currently unfolding in Ukraine. Very damaging. The war in Ukraine has driven out close to 6.5 million refugees in Ukraine. It's a very dire situation. And first, I want to quickly appreciate every countries, basically, especially UK, US, their hard work, and other neighboring countries really, for accepting the Ukrainian refugees who are fleeing from war. Very terrible system, very terrible situation. But I am so happy that the way this Ukrainian refugee has been handled. But this defies a lot of system that we already have in place. The asylum seeking system we have in place, the refugee system we have in place, and the cross-border systems we have across European countries about asylum seekers, refugees, and others who are fleeing persecutions. I want to say my heart goes deep down to people, the Ukrainian people who are facing difficulties right now as a result of this war. I know it's not easy. Whatever you are facing, I want to say, please take heart, and everything will be okay by the grace of God. And what we have seen now is that it's very appalling. And I want to quickly appreciate the UK government, the UK people. I am a citizen of this country now. I want to appreciate you for the system you have put in place to be able to empower people, whether they were here as a refugee or whether they came here as a visitor. In one way or the other, this economy is benefiting them, and this economy, you have opened the door for them to be able to seek prospect of what they want to be or what they choose to be in life. I want to say thank you for that. Community inclusion, celebrating differences and diversity. This country has actually played a leading role compared to every other European countries. And to that, I want to say thank you once again. Now, let us look at the issue on the table. We'll look at the issue on the table. I want to show a couple of videos so that you will see the support we are willing to render to the Ukrainian refugees, the support we are rendering to them, how we want to share and how we are sharing our homes to accept the Ukrainians, because we understand their determination and what is driving them, which is the war. We have this open-handed towards them, we embrace them. I want to say to this government, thank you. In addition to this, I am saying I want to quickly show this video so you can see. Have a look at this.
Becoming a refugee from the war in Ukraine. These 48 children will not be the last who need sanctuary and safety. Surely the Deputy Prime Minister agrees it shouldn't have taken this level of intervention and pressure for the Home Office to do the right thing by these children.
Well, can I just say to him, it's very important that the proper international practices on safeguarding are followed. I know he appreciates that. We're keen to find out if family reunion options with Ukrainian family in the region have been considered. We also know, can you just listen for a second, because it's important. We also know that many children in state care in Ukraine have family members in the region for safeguarding and well-being of the children. That must also be considered. More broadly, he raises the issue about refugees and children on top of the measures that I've already mentioned. We're making plans for the arrival of 100,000 Ukrainian children through the Education Secretary in our schools. And I pay tribute to the Health Secretary for bringing Ukrainian children suffering from cancer over to this country to receive the vital treatment they need.
Two, have a look at this.
The eyes of the world are rightly focused on Putin's evil invasion of Ukraine. But there is still a humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan. And I welcome the fact that the UK government is hosting a pledging conference later this month for that crisis. And can my right honourable friend ensure that we also keep education for those poor children on the agenda?
Deputy Prime Minister. She's absolutely right, and we will keep the focus on Afghanistan and the many other conflicts around the world that need our support. I can tell her that that particular conference will provide specifically support for access to girls' education, a long-standing priority of the Prime Minister. And I would also just point out that we've doubled our humanitarian aid to Afghanistan for the financial year to £286 million.
So you can see, this is not to say I am just saying words, but you can see to yourself how much the British MPs, they have put forward to make sure that every of these citizens, they're able to come to UK, they are allowed to work without any restriction. They're permitted to cross any border, and we go as far as using even our aeroplane and resources, bringing them down here. And honestly, 100%, there is no doubt that the Ukrainians, they deserve this support. They deserve this help. They deserve to be treated as human. They deserve to be treated as one of our kind. So the question I will be asking here is this the way the UK government have handled other citizens, other asylum seekers that are coming from other countries? Is this the same way? I was watching TV recently. I saw this video coming, the new UK asylum seeking system. And it was it's outrageous. And we have various organizations. The United Nations condemned the action, and many other organizations, they condemned the actions of the UK new asylum seeking, where other asylum seekers, they will have to be deported to Rwanda. Then from there, they will now start processing the asylum, before they come to the UK. So many organizations, many countries, they actually criticize this new UK system. So my question is, at the middle of this incident, while we are welcoming so many of us like this, then the UK government or the UK system is currently segregating other communities.
There's no doubt about it, we're living in times of catastrophic crisis where the lives of innocent civilians are sacrificed in the wars of their masters. Yes, in Ukraine, but not only. Since the last plenary, tens of thousands of Afghani citizens have been forced to flee in search of food and safety. 5 million children face famine, an agonising and painful death, a 500% increase in child marriages and children being sold just so they can survive, and not a mention of it. Not here, not anywhere. No wall-to-wall TV coverage, no emergency humanitarian response, no special plenaries, not even a mention in this plenary, no Afghani delegations and no statements. My God, they must be wondering what makes their humanitarian crisis so unimportant. Is it the colour of their skin? Is it that they're not white, they're not European, that their problems come from a US gun or a US invasion? Is it that the decision to rob their country's wealth was taken by a despotic US president rather than a Russian one? Because, my God, all wars are evil and all victims deserve support, and until we get on that page, we have no credibility.
Is it not the same war that is in Yemen right now? Is it not the same war that is in Somalia right now that is in Ukraine? Or the Ethiopia war is different from the one in Ukraine? Or the war against the Biafran community in Nigeria is different from that of Ukraine? Is the religious crisis across various states in Nigeria right now, is it different from that of Ukraine? Why is it that we can then give priority to some over others? Like I said earlier, the UK is well known to be a country where every other branches of communities, they come, they celebrate their differences. But what we are seeing here is a systematic segregation, systematic racism that favors one community over the other ones. This is what we are seeing here. If you look at that video I showed to you before, I'm going to show the video again. You saw, I'm even seeing a black lady there. A community this lady came from. They are 10 times likely to be segregated, likely to be racially discriminated compared to every other community on this planet Earth. What is she doing there? Is she there to defend her community, I mean to say? Is she there to agitate for her community? Is she there to protect her community? As I speak to you, we have people from the minority groups in this country. Some of them, they have spent 20 good years in this country, yet they have not been given the opportunity to be given a paper to work, or even for them to work and contribute meaningfully to the development of this country. We have people in this country, people from these BME communities, who has been here for ages. Some of them has clocked over 20 years here. Yet, there is no documentation for them. This country, because of the asylum system, because of the system, has systematically segregated these people, deny them right to work in this country. But what we are seeing here is that a Ukrainian can come here for free, and he or she can decide where or he would have to work. And if he or she don't have a home, we can share from our home for them. I am not criticizing the Ukrainians. Honestly, this is the right way to treat people, to treat human beings who are fleeing war. But the question I'm asking today, are we treating other communities the same way we are treating the Ukrainians? How are we treating these other communities? At this point, that everybody thought that the UK government would have actually been much more favorable to this community, to this BMBA community, to these minority communities. But what we are seeing here is that they are systematically taking these other communities away from here in order to create rooms for the Ukrainians that are coming here. Why is that? There's only just one reason why all these things are manifesting. Do you know the reason? Because of the color of their skin. because of the nature of their hair. That is just the only reason why all this politics has not been played in such a very, very grievous manner like this. We've heard of the Windrush generation, and we thought this government, they gonna change their minds towards the way they look after people, towards the way they deal with people that are coming either through war, that are fleeing war or persecution. But what we have seen here is contrary to what we thought this government would have been able to, what we thought this country would have been able to do, I mean to say. So then, I am sure you will now beginning to understand why I told you that you will have to really sit down and listen to this video. The question I'm asking today, where is the place of these ethnic minority group, most of whom they are black people? Where is their place in this community? Can you tell me, where is their place? Because a lot of them, they have been here. They have been conditioned in one way or the other. Yet, the document they are seeking, this government or this authority, they will not give it to them. Some of them, they are sleeping rough. Some of them, you find them on the streets. All for the sake that they came here through refugee system. Some of them flee war. It's the same war that the Ukrainians, they are fleeing right now. That is the same war the Afghanistan people, they were fleeing from. And that is the same war that the Yemenis people, they were fleeing from. That is the same war the Biafrans in Nigeria, they were fleeing from. So how do we accommodate these communities over the years? And how are we accommodating them now? And I weep because when the Ukrainian war started, majority of this community, they would have been very happy that it's going to be okay for them, because have a look at the way that we are willing to accommodate the Ukrainians, that they are going to be treated that way. But unfortunately, what we have done is completely contrary to that. We make life even more difficult and even more worse for them. Now, I am sure you will not beginning to see the analysis that I'm drawing to you, how sense this is making. Now, let us come here. It is not to say these people originally, they are poor from their home. If it was a crisis that they are fleeing from, or economic challenges they are facing from their homeland, and what we are finding out is that these countries, these Western countries, majority of them, they constituted almost 50% of the crisis upon which these people, they are fleeing their homeland. So what are we doing to accommodate these people even in their homeland? What are we doing to provide peace in their homeland? Because majority of these people, they never plan to come here in the first place. Nobody wants to leave his home, even if it's a shelter. Everybody wants to remain with his family. If you see a man who decided to leave his family and go to a foreign land, know that there's a situation, something is driving him. To me, like I said earlier on, I am not here to criticize anyone, but I'm drawing this analysis so that we can all understand that what is happening under our watch today in this 21st century, this is what is happening. Systematic racism by this authority in order to dehumanize a particular or a certain community. So this thing is embedded, within the system. And it cannot be communicated through verbal means. But the system itself will tell you this is the way we want it to be. So that is why we show so much love to one community and we refuse to show the same love to them, to the others. Honestly, I think this is very sad. It's inhuman. So the question I will be asking today, there are so many BMA community. There are so many other communities in this country who has been denied documentation for so long. Is it the time that the UK government will start looking at their cases? How they will be able to look into those cases and resolve their problem? So if you grant the Ukrainians automatic visa to work and do everything, Why can't you do the same to this other community who has been here for so long? So I think this will make sense. So wherever you're watching me from, are you leading from any major organization? Or you yourself, as a member of this community, you are working alongside this authority? So is it the time that you can start speaking up? But you can see it yourself. It's very clear. It's obvious what is happening in our world today. The new UK asylum system. That somebody that is fleeing war cannot be returned back to a separate country where he didn't know anybody there. Because that country is not peaceful when it comes to human rights. It's not okay. Then we take those people there and systematically allow them whatever they want. If they want to frustrate them, they can frustrate, and wherever they go from there. But in the midst of that, we are not fair to the whole general asylum seeking system. So we allow some of them to come in here. Because why don't we just decide to to close this door, allow every other person to pass through this system, whereby the Ukrainians that are coming here, let them pass through the same system, take them there. If you prove that you like us, you want to be fair about this policy, very, very, very unfortunate. So I am not meant to spend too much time talking about this, but I have come here to prove my case so that you will know. If it's your first time watching us here, I would like you to please often come here, just subscribe to this channel. You will see a lot of informations like this. All right. So we are Africa's Social Intellect. We look at things that are happening in our community and we draw analysis to them to check fairness regarding those things that are happening in our community. Once again, I want to say thank you. Thank you very much. Are you a civil servant or somebody who have opportunity to lead in your community, including the Prime Minister? I will need you to please have a look at this system we currently have in place. It looks as if it's not really fair at all. If there's anything we can do to change this new asylum seeking, asylum system, I mean to say, maybe that will help. But as it stands, it angers a lot of people and they keep questioning why. Please have a rethink. And bye for now.